Overall, Goldman's mortgage department made $1 million in the first quarter of 2007, lost million in the second quarter, made in the third quarter, made in the fourth quarter. In total, Goldman's mortgage department made $1.27 billion in 2007, a big number, absolutely, but not even close up to the $4 billion John Paulson made. Of course, we didn't touch the mortgage mess. Goldman's CEO Lion Blankfein wrote in the fall of 2007, "We lost money, they made more than we lost because of shorts through enough." And other firms besides Goldman's were also trying to dump their exposure onto viewers who hadn't figured out that their ratings had become degraded. Other films also sold synthetic CDs while keeping short positions, but Goldman was unquestionably better at it than its competitors. What Goldman Sachs really did in 2007 was protecting its own bottom line at the expense of clients. It deemed disposable in a conflict-ridden business that maybe, just maybe, the old Goldman Sachs would have been wise enough to stay away from in all the subsequent frenzy over who did what to whom in the synthetic CDO market. A series of deeper, more troubling questions tended to get overlooked. One was this: what exactly was the point of synthetic CDOs? It didn't fund at home. It didn't make the mortgage market any better. It was a zero-sum game in which the discs were mortgaged. Wall Street is fiction, said market Adelson, the former Moody's analyst. Every cent an investment banker earns its capital. That doesn't to go a business with an initial public offering. You get it, but with derivatives you can tie it back. You could argue that at least it's not hurting things, and that was a complaining rationale for a long time. He concluded we may have encouraged financial institutions to grow up in ways to do not indirectly finance facility or enhance the reason for having a financial system in the first place. If only that were the words of it, but it wasn't. The invention of synthetic may well have both magnified the bubble and prolonged it. Take the former first synthetic CDOs made it impossible to bet on the same bad mortgage 5, then 20 times. Underwriters went into place their short-selling clients. Reference a handful of tranches their favorite over and over again. Merrill's risk manager, John Bright, would later estimate that some tranches of mortgage-backed securities were referenced 75 times to score $50 million, tranche to do $1 billion of damage. In a case uncovered by the Wall Street Journal, $38 million subprime mortgage bond created in June 2006 ended up in more than 30 debt pools and ultimately caused roguely in loss. As for prolonging the bubble, synthetics likely did in two ways. Firms were much more willing to buy and boldly subprime securities from some of the world's originators, knowing they could use a synthetic CDOs hedge any exposure they might be stuck with. Would Goldman have sold over $1 billion of Fremont's mortgage to investors in early 2007 if it hadn't been able to enter into credit. The fall swapped the highest sum of this resulting exposure to Fremont without demands the of Atlantis exposure. Investment films would likely have been more cautious and shut off the spigot owner. Secondly, selling the equity in the CDOs the risk gets bias required finding buyers willing to take the risks there. um, that risks there weren't many to begin on once they had no equity risks on their books and stopped buying. The market for mortgage would have naturally gone down, but around 2005, some smart hedge funds began to realize that there was a completing trade to be made by buying the equity in a CDO while shorting the triple as if the mortgage performance the return offered by the equity prices, which could be upwards of 20% more than covered the cost of the shorts, and if the mortgage didn't perform.